दर्शक बंधु कैंडिड इंटरफेस को स्वागत। आज आम गहणर अच्छा श्री विजय कुमार जोशी से जड़े वरिष्ठ रेलवे अधिकारी आउ रेलवे रे काम करने छड़ा सी बहुत गुड़े सामाजिक संस्था साथ जड़ित अच्छा आउ सिनेमा आउ एंटरटेनमेंट रे बहुत गोटे इनक्लिनेशन अच्छी। तो श्री जोशी MBCTv की स्वागत।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। आपण रेलवे रु बहुत दिन धरी चाकरी करिके किछि दिन हला आपण सुपर एनुएशन हला आपनकर। तो मु आपन को पचरा चाहे आपनकर रेलवे रे जो काम करथले आपनकर फीलिंग्स ता कोन, योर एक्सपीरियंस वाज व्हाट?
I must say that experience in the railways was very good. We used to travel a lot, meet people from all walks of life. In fact, during my long career in the railways, I also could fulfill three of my interests. One was I went to the Railway Staff College, that is the Officers Training College at Vadodara, Gujarat, as a professor. Secondly, I was also interested in public relations, meeting people from different walks of life. So I worked as the Chief Public Relations Officer of the Southeastern Railway. And I also, as a logistics man, was involved in multimodal logistics when I was heading the Eastern Zone Conquer Container Corporation of India Limited.
Great, wonderful. The job which you have taken in the railways, it was mere a coincidence or it was your choice?
Frankly speaking, I didn't know about the details of the railway services. When we appeared for the civil service, coming from a small town in the western side of Orissa, I didn't know much about the civil services. But as a general choice, I had given the administrative service, foreign service, and railways was one of the choices in the higher echelon. As you know, it is the merit cum choice.
Which really matters.
Yes, yes, merit cum choice, and railway was one of my choices, yes.
Wonderful, great. Now one thing which I would like to ask you is, you have come to a particular stage now, you have done a lot of accolades you have received, a lot of achievements you have had in life. Now what was your childhood days, if you recollect your childhood, flashback your childhood, I am sure you must be feeling very delighted and ecstatic about it. Would you please narrate it? I am sure the viewers will be very much interested to hear from you. How was your childhood days like?
Yes, as I just said, I come from a very small town in the western Orissa, and I must say that our childhood was pretty regular in that sense. The sports that we used to play was mostly the rural sports, kabaddi, football, chur we used to call it. Nothing fancy, because the first time I came across cricket was when I was already, I think, 17 years old.
Oh God.
We didn't know lawn tennis or table tennis or cricket and all. Education wise, we have gone through the regular Oriya medium, upper primary school, then the local high school, 2 years in the local college, and thereafter in the Gangadhar Meher University, which is now university. That time it was a college. At Sambalpur, and I did my post graduation in Sambalpur University, Jyoti Bihar also. We had a regular childhood like that, but I must say that my father had a very pragmatic view of life.
Okay.
Apart from education, he used to tell us to travel a lot, because he used to say that when you travel, you learn. So we used to go out during all the holidays and vacations. We used to go out traveling, seeing new places, meeting new people, that kind of people.
Wonderful. That's a great experience of yours. Now one thing which I would like to ask you, since you have spent long years in railways, how do you foresee the future of the Indian Railways? Challenges, problems, whatever it is, how you foresee the Indian Railways?
Yes, challenges definitely there are, with the road travels becoming smoother and faster. The air travels, they are becoming now cheaper and easily within the means of the common people. Railways will face a lot of challenges, and I think they will have to do a lot of work towards that. So far as the passenger transportation is concerned, I think the first and foremost some more attention is required is towards the cleanliness of our coaches. As you know, recently the faster trains are being introduced, but then the faster trains, they have their own problems or the perils, because ours is a country which is not only crowded, but also there are a lot of crossing of the tracks, not only by cattle, but also by human beings, because the villages will be on both sides and all. So some kind of device has to be put in place, so that the accidents on the level crossings, accidents in the when the people cross the tracks, that is avoided. But I think on the whole, railways has a bright future, particularly in the middle distance segment. The smaller distances may go to road, the farther distances may go to air, but middle distances, particularly overnight train travels, I think will remain the first choice of transportation by the people.
Very rightly said. As you have said, where it's just a one-night journey, people will always prefer to move in railways rather than going by road. It's a very nice thing which you said. Good. Now, what we understand, you have a lot of inclination for films, entertainment, and we understand also you have acted in a couple of films. How has that experience been? Would you narrate one or two incidents where you felt very happy, delighted?
I must thank you, Dr. Panda, for asking that, because film I do purely out of interest and as a matter of hobby. In fact, I have done about 6 films, Orissa films, but the type of roles that I did, if you blink your eyes, probably you will miss it. But I don't regret. I have no regrets on that, because it is my interest, and it is a very unique kind of experience by reliving different roles on the screen, and it's really interesting for me.
Wonderful. How do you foresee the film industry in Orissa?
Unfortunately, the viewership for Orissa films is gradually coming down, and many of the halls, cinema halls, they are closing down. But I think the stories attract the people, and once our film industry, they get good stories, they develop good cinematography, I hope people will come back and see Orissa films that they used to enjoy earlier.
I personally feel, for example, people mostly visit, Hindi films, and Odia films are not very much, popular, even in Orissa. How do you relate that, that we see Hindi films, we don't see Odia films? How do you correlate that?
As I said, number one was that the screen numbers are coming down. That is because the Orissa viewership is coming down. Unfortunately, the own language, our own people also, they prefer to go to English or Hindi films. But one of the, I won't say criticism, but one of the issues that people raise on Orissa film is that the stories are mostly adapted or copied from other film industries. If you remember, sir, we used to have wonderful stories, and we used to put them in cinematography earlier, and Orissa films used to be very popular. I'm sure people are working towards it, and good stories are being written about, and Orissa film industry probably will come back. Let us all hope.
Well, when we are talking on films, particularly in Orissa, one little thing which comes to my mind, and I want to put it across, that is, could you just tell me one silver lining about Orissa films? One silver lining.
I must say the interest and the endeavor of the people who are engaged in this. The artists, the directors, the producers, I have seen the passions in them while doing films. So, let us hope sooner rather than later we come back
I
to
think very
good
soon
days.
let us hope for a turnaround, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. Mr. Joshi, I would ask you another one little question. I'm sure that must be dear to your heart also, and you must have also felt that very much. Quite often, you know, when we move around, there is a lot of meetings, a lot of debates, where we discuss when Orissa is so rich, be in minerals, be in water, be in sea, you know, in different, you know, coastline and everything, but we see that its people are poor. What could be the reasons for that according to you?
Yes, Orissa is very rich in mineral resources. We have to probably do a lot more in translating them into manufacturing units.
Right.
Because only having the minerals is not enough. You must have seen, we have all seen now recently, our Honorable Chief Minister himself is going not only to different places in the country, but even outside to attract the manufacturers to the state. Yes, I was myself also involved in the first, the investment seminar in 2016 when I was working for the Orissa government. And a lot of efforts are going in for increasing the manufacturing base in the state, because we have a lot of raw materials which are unique.
Right. Wonderful. Another thing, you know, which I thought of asking you is, you know, since you are in Indian Railways and different, maybe East Coast Railways, Southeast, you know, different zones, but in your tenure, you must have experienced a lot of crisis, because, you know, railways, you know, there will always be crisis, you know, you can't avoid them, because, you know, reason being, you must have led also a lot of, you know, this disaster, you know, crises in your tenure. So, could you just highlight one incident where you led the crisis team and somehow things were in control with your leadership? Could you narrate one? I am sure the viewers will feel very happy listening to you.
Yes, there are so many situations when one has to act very fast, one has to think very fast, but I think I will cite to you only one example. When I was working as the secretary to the general manager of Southeastern Railway, that is the old BNR Railways, we were traveling with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Nitish Kumar was our minister at that time, and we were at Jamshedpur. So, the arrival of the minister, you know, that got delayed by about nearly 2 hours.
Right.
So, the press corps, you know, there was a large contingent of the press people, and they were so agitated that the minister, he straight away went to his special, you know, coach, and without even talking to them, let alone offering apology and all that thing. So, when we went to the special coach and sat there for some time, the train was just not moving. So, I got down and tried to find out. Then one of my public relation officers, PRO, he told me that the journalists, they are not allowing the train to start because they are very much aggrieved and agitated.
Right.
So, what I did was I told them, I signaled to the driver to start the train. I boarded the coach where all the journalists were there.
Okay, great.
And I let them, you know, let off themselves and speak whatever they want against the railways, against anybody they
against
want.
the minister,
You know,
whatever it is, you know, whatever came to their mind, you know.
Yes, whatever came to them. I became just so agitated, but I think it worked as a catharsis.
Okay.
So, I said, I will be with you. I will travel with you. Please tell me whatever you want. I will later on communicate to the minister.
Right.
They did a lot of talking. They abused the railways. They abused, you know, whoever was in charge. But I think the situation got under control after some time.
Right. Yeah, it's a very nice thing, because, you know, when particularly, you know, when the media gets
Yes.
agitated, you know, things take altogether a different turn. It's very nice of you to have pacified them and bring them to control.
Yes.
Great, great. Real congratulations from our side. Another little thing, you know, what I would like to ask you is, you know, since you have spent long years in railways, earlier also you were in Steel Authority of India Limited, then you have also worked in banks, you know, you have different experiences. And coming to this stage, if I ask you, you must be having some specific agenda in your mind that, you know, I'll do this, maybe social service, maybe in the job front, you know, even after retirement. What is that unfinished agenda you have in mind, and what are your plans and programs to fulfill it?
Yes, I couldn't have asked for more actually. I started my professional career with the public sector, that is Steel Authority of India Limited. Then I joined the civil services, that is Government of India directly when I was working in the railways. Then I took VR from the railways to join the state government and worked for a couple of years there. Thereafter, after retirement, I joined the corporate sector when I was advisor to Vedanta, Aluminium and Power. Now I am associated with a company, logistics company, which has provided a berth, a platform inside Paradip port. So with this long innings, I think at some point when I, so to say, hang my boots, it's time to give back to the society.
Absolutely.
Whatever we have got from the society and fellow human beings, I think it is time, and that time is coming nearer to me.
Right.
When I would like to contribute back to the society, to my own area for development, education work, etc. Yes.
Any specific thing you have in mind? Anything specific? As you very rightly said, you know, you would like to give back to the society, but you must be having so many things in the agenda. But one specific thing which really strikes you, that I'll do this.
See, Dr. Panda sir, when we grew up, we knew nothing about the life ahead or the careers or the what the country does and all. We were almost confined to a very small place.
Okay.
I think the students, particularly the young people of the backward areas where there is not much guidance in such matters, they require hand holding somehow.
Right.
So I think with my experience coming from those places, today we are in the best of services.
Right.
The Union Public Service we have cleared. So I must give back, and whatever contribution I can do in guiding those young people, I would like to do that.
Yeah, oh, wonderful, wonderful. That's, I think, one of the best ideas you have, which needs to be appreciated very much. Another little thing, I would like to ask you is, that Bhubaneswar is gradually turning out to be a very large educational hub. Yes. Maybe in a couple of years, I think it will be among the best in the region. What is your opinion on that?
It's very, very heartening to see young people on the streets of Bhubaneswar, particularly in the educational hubs. I have myself, I have an office in the InfoCity area, InfoCity 1, which has a lot of educational institutions, and it is so heartening to see these young students roaming around after the class and all. I think our standard of education and method of education is still very good, which attracts not only students from neighboring states, but also I know a lot of my friends who have sent their words from Delhi, from Punjab, from Uttar Pradesh to Orissa, which is very, very welcome.
Yeah, it's really heartening to know that.
Yes.
Yeah, great, wonderful.
Yes.
So you will definitely appreciate that gradually, Bhubaneswar is turning out to be an educational hub, and very soon I think things will be much different to what it was earlier. Now another one little thing which comes to my mind, and I thought I'll tell you is, you see, there is a very nice word which we call recognition, and that word is a very important word, because I personally feel when people are working in a particular organization, they don't give their best because number one, they are not recognized at the right time. Number two, they are not motivated in the way they should be. What's your view on this? Don't you think we lack in motivation and also recognize people?
Yes, I entirely agree with you, and I think and I believe that this motivation or inspiration to work on its own, that need not be always monetary or physical rewards. It can be a simple thank you, it can be a simple saying that you have done a good job today.
Right.
If say for example a sweeper is there, you can always go and appreciate the work he has done. There is nothing small and big,
Right.
but whatever someone is doing, if he is doing well and we appreciate it
Absolutely.
by verbal word, by expressing, not by keeping it silently within ourselves, but by expressing before him and more so in front of his colleagues.
Right.
I think it works a lot.
Yeah, it works a lot because I personally, when I move around to different places, I find a lot of disappointed faces. Frankly speaking, they are not very much interested that they'll get a 500 rupees or 1000 rupees increment, but they are of the opinion that I have done so much work, nobody has come and told me, oh, what a lovely job you have done.
Yes.
So that is very much lacking in our society, which needs to be inbuilt in the very system.
Yes, not only for the colleagues, but also our own family.
On the family.
Our own offspring, our children.
Right.
Yes,
right.
it does work.
Right, absolutely. Another little thing, which I thought of asking you is, you move around. What I understand also, you love to lecture, share the knowledge and experiences you have gathered all through. Very recently, where have you addressed people?
Well, I keep on going to the, say, for example, Chamber of Commerce or
Right.
the educational institutions, some of the public sectors nearby, to share the experiences that I have with the participants, and it is always both ways.
Right.
We also share our experiences, we also learn a lot from them, the participants.
Right. When we come to education, quite often we say learning, relearning and unlearning. Okay. Now what you have to tell on this?
I think a lot of the blind beliefs that we have inherited from our forefathers. I am not saying that they are wrong, but these are all going on.
Right. Right.
Say for example, during our childhood we have been told not to shave on a certain day,
Right.
not to clip your nails on certain
Yeah,
day,
right.
not to take non-veg on certain days and
Right.
all.
Right.
I believe there are many things which need to be unlearned.
Right.
And with today's experience, own experience, one has to relearn some things.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Come out of those things.
Right. Wonderful. Now, Mr. Joshi, we did have a lovely interface with you. We are very happy that you are in our studio. But finally, I would request you to give a very inspirational message. I am sure our viewers will be very much happy listening to you and with your message.
Well, I don't know whether it will be inspirational or whether I am capable of that, but I will say what I myself believe in. I believe that there is nothing important or less important or not important so far as our duty is concerned. In whatever field we are engaged in, one has to do his best, his or her best. Nation building takes a lot from everybody as contribution. Whatever small things we can do in a positive way in whatever field one is engaged in, it is always welcome and it should be.
Yeah, let us do small things in a big way.
Yes.
So that everybody feels happy about it and we can also share.
Yes, the small things only will make it big.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you very much, Mr. Joshi, for being with us. We really enjoyed
Thank you, Dr.
the
Panda.
interface.
Thank you, Dr.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दर्शक बंधु.